Hey guys, Mutantcowboy here. In this Division 2 Warlords of New York build video, I'm going to be showing off my healer tank build. Now if you've had any experience of playing in the higher difficulties, especially with random players, you definitely know of the lack of diversity that most players have. Usually when you get into a random group, there's a lack of healers, and there is virtually no tank builds at all. So basically my goal became, how do I make a build that can stay alive, that can keep others alive, and that can allow the DPS players to actually do as much damage as possible without actually having to worry about being shot all the time. Obviously, I already knew that the shield is one of the greatest skills to use, and of course, it was only a matter of trying to narrow down which healing skill that I wanted to use, or at least which one did I think was the most effective. And for reasons that I'll get into in a little bit, I've decided that the chem launcher would probably be the best one for this build specifically. And I do want to just take a second to stress the importance of actually having somebody to draw the attention, or something to draw the attention of the enemy, especially in the higher difficulty missions. If you are a DPS player and you are being shot at, you cannot fire back. If you try to, you generally will get killed right away. What my goal is with this build is to allow the DPS to actually shoot. If they can shoot, then they can do damage, and they can kill the enemies a lot faster. Regardless of how much damage I put out, having them able to actually focus fire on enemies, or actually being able to dish out the damage, is the main benefit of this build. I can keep them healed up, I can keep my shield healed up, and I can allow them to do the damage that they need to, while also being able to protect them from the side in emergency situations, while being able to revive them if they're, stuck out of cover in a bad situation, without actually having to rely on everyone having their hive on cooldown so they can throw out a reviver. And one of the biggest minor benefits of this build is that I'm actually able to draw the rusher type enemies, like the outcast heavies, that rush you and basically, cause you to roll out of cover and then basically get you killed because you're trying to get away from them. I can sit there and tank them, or at least walk them around so that my team can do their job. Alright, so I am running the Technician Specialization, and that's for the 10% healing and the skill tier. For my main weapon, I am using a Mark 16 with Optimist, even though it doesn't really get used that often. The mods that I have on it are basically stability, accuracy, and the 20 rounds. For my secondary, I am using the Banshee, and this one has reformation on it. So basically, any headshots that I get increase my skill repair by 30%. So in the case that my shield goes down, I can become a more dedicated healer build. Again, this one is spec'd mostly into accuracy and magazine size. For my sidearm, I am using the Liberty, which they did change the talent on it. So now that every body shot you get builds a stack, and then when you use headshots, you basically cash those stacks in for 3% shield repair. For my mask, I am using a Douglas and Harding, and that's for the 20% pistol damage. I've also got it rolled with skill repair and skill haste. So, just diving into that healer build. For my chest piece, I am using a Richter and Kaiser for the 15% incoming repairs. It's also got skill haste and skill repair on it, and I've got a incoming repair mod. My talent is empathic resolve, which basically gives me and my allies bonus damage whenever I heal them. Next we have my holster, which is hana-u. It is rolled in skill haste and skill repair. It is a purple, but it is still better than any high-end variations that I found so far. And you can see, my rolls on it are almost maxed, so I have no problem with keeping this, or actually showing you that I'm using a purple on my builds. For my knee pads, I am using Murakami. That's for the 20% skill duration, because that increases the length of my my chem heals, and that's rolled in against repair skills and skill haste. For my gloves, I am using the Motherly Love Alps Summit gloves, and this is because it gives me 20% skill health, so that increases the health of my shield, and it also has repair skills on it. And then for my backpack, I am using another Alps Summit. This is because I want that 20% skill duration, and it's rolled in skill repair and skill haste with a repair skill mod. And the talent that I'm using is Safeguard, which basically allows me to have a 100% bonus healing or repair when I am at full health. Now, because I'm using the shield, it means that unless I'm being hit from the side or something, I'm almost always at 100% armor. So this is an incredible benefit when I'm trying to actually move around the battlefield and heal my teammates. All right, taking a quick look at my shield, you can see that because I'm using a tier 6 and the Motherly Love gloves, I have a 16 million health shield. Moving on to my chem launcher, and the reason that I use the chem launcher is because you can see there I'm doing a 1,000,000 armor repair with 182k repair over time. The reason that I'm using the chem launcher over, let's say, the drone is because the drone has a very slow repair rate. And the reason I'm not using the hive is because it does a terrible job of repairing the shield. It takes almost 20 charges and my active regen to fully recharge the shield. That is not something that I really want in bad situations. Now, if you are actually just trying to make a full-on heal build, this build would be fine for that. All you need to do is just get rid of the shield. And if you wanted to change the Motherly Love gloves, you could do that too. And the last thing I want to note, this is not the primary DPS build, right? If you are that user who wants damage and that's the only way that you play, this build isn't for you. Now you could change it a little bit and make it a little bit more balanced, to do a little bit more damage and less healing. But if you're one of those kind of people that actually likes to play with the team, and usually you play with randoms, and you like to fill the deficiencies of that team, well, like I said, the two least common roles of a team are usually the healer and the tank. Now, I mean, if you go into a mission, you can find DPS no problem, and you can find a lot of skill damage users no problem. But getting that healer and getting that tank generally seems to be a little bit difficult. So with this build, you can actually fill in both of those roles at once. Now, obviously, it's not as great as having a dedicated healer or having a dedicated tank, but this can get your team through most bad situations. Alright guys, that'll do it for me. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one.